Welcome to another Stay Woke podcast presented by thesonicbreakdown.com. This is D-Ray Brinson, and we got your boy, William West.
Hello, ladies.
He's putting on the Barry White for you ladies out there.
Good night, good afternoon, and good morning, depending on what time you are listening to this podcast.
Because we international out here.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to focus on the ladies, man. You do what you want to do with the whole breakdown thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, do your thing, man. I'm out here trying to find a wife. That's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to use this platform for.
All right. So ladies out there, if you like what you're hearing, leave a comment, send us a message on the sonicbreakdown.com under the contact page.
All your links to Black Planet, JDate, ChristianMingle.com, eHarmony, Tinder, Facebook.
Plenty of fish.
I need all of that to do my research. Thank you, man. But we back here, man. It's fun.
So we back for another episode. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody for listening. Following us on all our social media pages, thesonicbreakdown.com, The Sonic Breakdown, or just Sonic Breakdown. And the podcast is now on iTunes.
I wanted to say that too, man.
So definitely,
you beat me to it.
Give us a search, and you'll find it. It's if you search Stay Woke Podcast, it will have the Sonic Breakdown logo, which you see everywhere on the Sonic Breakdown website. You should see it there, and it will say by D-Ray Brinson as the
star,
the tagline. But all of these podcasts were produced by your boy William West.
Hey, thank you for the shout out, man.
We appreciate that. Without him, we wouldn't have these podcasts. So thank you, and we made it. We on iTunes. So keep rocking with us. Keep listening to us. You know, the website's gonna keep on expanding and growing and evolving. So we appreciate everybody following. But let's get into what we're talking about today, man.
What is it, man?
Today we're gonna talk about,
talk about it, man.
The West Coast they have their love. East Coast definitely has their love. Down South, it has their love, but their love is usually under the guise of club hits, club bangers.
Whatever happened to you, man?
So we're gonna bring you that down south, not south.
Yeah, man.
Just some cats that probably need a little bit more love than they're getting from I'll say the mainstream, the larger collection of people at all.
And if we can help it anyway, that's why we're doing it.
And we want to give what we consider, true, talented, hardworking artists, the love that they deserve. And this is where we choose to give it to them.
Yeah, why not?
So one of the artists that I want to mention that I think is big and has been around for a minute. He's been on the scene for a while and has been dope from the beginning. Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
Thank
you for mentioning that.
He's been around for a minute. He's always been talking about stuff. He's a deep brother. He really puts in the time and the effort into making sure that what he's saying has a purpose, has a meaning, and is deeper than just, let me just throw this out there to make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's conscious.
Very conscious brother.
Political.
He
knows what's going on in his neighborhoods, not just neighborhoods in his own hometown, but across the nation.
That's real.
Worldwide too.
And not only is he just rapping about it, he's actually doing something about it.
Yes.
Like he does stuff in the community. I lived in Atlanta. I've seen it. I know he actually does real stuff for Atlanta, not just for the community, but like politically. He talks to the mayor, Kasim Reed, at the time. He talks to the governors. He talks to sheriff deputies. He talks to the police. He talks to colleges. He tries to get that covered. We got the Sonic Breakdown dog right here going crazy, you know what I'm saying? But Killer Mike is about that life when he talks about trying to have political changes. And the line that Kendrick said in To Pimp a Butterfly, if people were really talking about that lyrical aspect and really saying that lyricism should get love, Killer Mike would be killing it, because he's a lyrical dude. If you like lyrics, if you really care about lyrics, that is a artist you want to check out.
And I like what he's doing with LP and teaming up with LP.
Yeah.
Back when I was on my white nerdy rap stuff, you know what I'm saying, when that whole Ruckus Records era, LP was there in the forefront. And
People forget about that.
both of them combining together, you know, it's just a crazy combination. Like, you would never think of it, because you always kind of categorize Killer Mike as a
New
safe,
York.
yeah, well, actually in the same group as Outkast and the organized noise whole movement, and then you got LP, which is more like the underground.
Yeah. New
And,
York.
and New York, and just grimy, only nerds know about him, that whole kind of perspective, and then them coming together and just being in just sync, with
Yeah.
the same views. And LP's always been political.
Yeah.
If you go back into his old albums, he's always been into it. He's always referencing history books. But I love what they're doing, man, and to kind of bring it back to the new age. And I like when people keep on moving, when MCs keep on moving forward,
Yeah.
thinking progressive,
Yeah.
and still stay relevant and reinvent themselves to still be relevant with but overall the same vision and the same message.
Yeah, but finding different ways of presenting it, and
Yeah.
and the production choices is way different than you would have heard prior.
And LP is both. He's a producer and
Yeah.
and an MC.
Yeah, and producing wise and MC wise, he's that dude. Like Sea Legs on Run the Jewels 1, that track slaps. I like it. Like, and I can understand why some people might veer away from it, because it is a different sound. It is more what I would, I guess, classify as more experimental type of sounds than you're used to hearing. But that doesn't mean that it's not good. You know what I'm saying? You can be different and still have good sound. Like, it is a very different type of production. It is, for some people would say, it's probably out there.
Yeah.
But I like the experimentation, and the way that the way that they flow over the beats is to me, one, it's great. It's interesting. It's different, as well as it does pay homage. If you check out the review I did on that album as well on the sonicbreakdown.com, one of the breakdown pages, I talk more about Run the Jewels 1 as well. But what I said in that review as well is what you touched on, that I wanted to piggyback off of, is this kind of symbiotic relationship that they have. It brings you back to the old school days of where cats would finish each other's lines. It's like, I got a hotline. Oh, I got another hotline that would go right after that line, and it's them going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
So dope.
And it's like, it's so connected that even though it's two separate people with two separate thoughts, the flow and the concept of the flow is continuous. It's so fluid. It flows. It's nicely. And that, to me, is amazing for them to be, like you said, to have those same opinions, but they're two drastically different people.
Yeah, if you look at it,
Drastically different people from drastically different parts of the country. Down south, New York. But they have the same vision, and they have, like I said, it's like a symbiotic relationship. It's not one is more than the other, or vice versa. They equal, and they fill in the gaps. Like the Rocky quote that he said in the movie, Adrian fills my gaps. I got gaps, she got gaps, we fill each other's gaps. See, I watch a lot of movies, so I feel it.
yeah,
But that's how they are. They fill in the gaps that one might leave, and it matches nicely, and it gives you a nice roll, nice flow. Run the Jewels 1 and 2 are two albums you should definitely check out to get on the more recent Killer Mike discography catalog, as well as Rap Music. Rap Music was a great album to me. It kind of reintroduced me to Killer Mike. I knew about him prior, but when I heard that album, I was like, oh, I forgot about I'm sleeping on him. That's when I realized I was really sleeping on that cat. And then Run the Jewels 1 and 2 was like, yeah, he's at the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking about down south rappers.
I'm definitely going to be going back to his catalog, man. It's good to go back sometimes, and sometimes depending on what age you are, what time it was, the era it was when the album came out, music came out, specifically talking about Killer Mike, you might have missed it. You might
Yeah.
have missed his presence. But he's always been there.
Hmm.
He's always been a beast on the mic. So I'm definitely gonna go back into the old catalogs and freestyles that he did back in the days,
Yeah.
and all the stuff that he's doing now. So that's an awesome choice right there. Definitely keep him in your eyes for sure going forward as well with all the music that he's making now.
Yeah. Definitely. So who else would you put in that list for down south?
Man, and when you say down south, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because, of course, I don't want to go into the mainstream.
Yeah. We're trying to
'Cause that's
give
what's popping right now.
yeah, we're trying to give the people like Future doesn't need no more love. Okay? Future got love.
You said it. You said it.
And I'm not it's not me hating on Future. It's just like there's other artists that deserve that notoriety that he's getting as well that just aren't getting it. And I'm not blaming Future. I'm not saying it's his fault, but he doesn't need the love that we're trying to give to these other artists like Killer Mike.
The artist that comes to mind off the top for me,
Mhm.
especially now that I'm in the mode of getting into the new blood and letting go of the past. I gotta let go of the old school rappers. I can't be old school rapper forever.
Yeah,
But I love Big Crit, man. I love what Big Crit is doing.
I do too.
Intelligent young man.
Yeah.
Uh,
And he has the thing that I like about Big Crit is he is new school. He is the younger cat, but he pays homage and he understands the history.
yeah.
Because that's sometimes the issues that I have with the younger cats. It's not that the music is different. It's not that sometimes they don't talk about as much influential things. It's that they also tend to not know the history and not to realize what they're building on.
To me, he's the down south version of J. Cole.
Yeah, exactly.
And then not to put like everybody against J. Cole, but
yeah.
I'm just saying that's just the feel I get because I'm a big J. Cole fan. Like I'm a huge J. Cole fan. But what Big Crit is doing, and I love what he did on Live from the Underground.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Big Crit album. And I love that he also another comparison. Why I'm comparing him to J. Cole is that he also does his own production. Not too many people know that he did a lot of production behind the scenes for a lot of your down south rappers and abroad. You know, T.I. being one of them, and other people too. He was in the studio, and he's in the studio with a lot of people working on projects and visions. And I respect that. I respect when somebody is really about this movement and really about the music and shows it overall and proves it overall. And he definitely did that on that album. He had people, he had features from people that it was just crazy just seeing it since he was a new guy coming into the game and having his own album. You know, he had 2 Chainz, 8-Ball and MJG. 8-Ball and MJG have been my all-time favorites from back in the days.
Yeah.
They were on that album.
He had even
alongside-
BB King.
Anthony Hamilton, collaborating with Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah.
Ludacris.
Melanie Fiona.
Yeah. Oh man.
So like like you said, he's getting
That was an action-packed
established true what we consider true musicians, artists, lyricists to jump on the track. That they're not gonna jump on the track for anybody. You have to have some validation. That does give him validation. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree. The track that did it for me was Catalactica.
Oh, nice.
That's really brought my attention. I like the track that he had with Lupe. He had Bun B, Devin the Dude, E40 on there, Raphael Sadiq. Because if y'all don't know, Raphael Sadiq is another a big guy that I really, really, really like. To me, I consider a true artist. That is, he does it like true artist musically.
You should be here. Hey, take it
Exactly,
back to that time.
exactly. Like
Take it back. Ooh.
so, yeah, he's a soulful brother, and to me that when I saw that, I was like, oh, Ralph Sadiq, okay. You have to know, like, to me that would be like if anybody can ever get a Sade feature, I don't have to know anything about you. The fact that Sade said she messes with you, I would be like, okay, you got the pass. I at least give you an instant pass. But yeah, Big Crit, he is he's he's a very lyrical brother. He's smart, but he also doesn't forget his roots. You definitely hear the South in his music, which I think he should be rewarded for, and that's why I'm saying we should give him some of the love that we're giving him today. So that's somebody that I would definitely, I agree with you as somebody that needs to be talked about. I've heard him on several features on other people's tracks, and every time I hear him, he's giving that knowledge. He's kicking that knowledge. On a variety of topics, not just racially motivated ones, politically, socially.
How the music
And
industry, is.
giving kind of like inside baseball, as I say, about the music industry and how to, and not just the downfalls, but he's also trying to help educate people so they can avoid these pitfalls, these stumbles, these roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's admirable in itself, because
at the end of the day, he does not have to do that.
yeah, he doesn't have to do it, and at the end of the day, most likely that's not what's gonna get you paid.
Yeah.
Like, Pepsi is not gonna give you endorsement money because you said, what's wrong with the music industry or how to avoid, these downfalls in the community. You're not gonna get paid for that. But the fact that you still want to do it and know that might hinder your brand, speaks volumes to the character of the person as well. So that's, definitely somebody I think you should check out. He's been on the scene for a minute. He is a new guy, but he's not a new guy. You know what I'm saying?
He's one of those artists, and this is how I like to rate my artists. He's one of those artists that if you find out he's on a track or he's going to come with a new track, you want to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to listen to what he says.
Exactly.
If you know what I'm saying. You know that feeling where you have your favorite rapper. My favorite rapper of all time is Big Pun. When Big Pun was on somebody else's track besides his own albums, because I know his whole catalog, when he was on someone else's track, I wanted to hear what he wanted to say. And that's how I feel about these new artists these days, especially Big Crit. I want to hear what he wants to say.
Me too. Because you feel like you're going to get something that is worthwhile.
Plus, he got that southern twang.
Yeah, and
and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he not just only does he have the southern twang, but he has it and he makes it work. Where it's because on sometimes it can feel forced though, like you're trying to play off of that. But with Big Crit, you can tell that it's not
natural.
For show. It's not. Yeah, it's straight natural. That's just him, and he's being him.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me stands out as well. Is I like artists, musicians that are being them, but it's still in a presentable way. So, Big Crit is, like we said, is somebody you should definitely check out. Live from the Underground. If you haven't heard that, give that album a listen. And Cadillactica. Both. With Cadillactica, there's a concept of it. Really listen to it, and you'll catch the concept. It's not like overbearingly, like you have to like search for the concept. You can find it by just casually listening to, but he's worth really giving a hard listen to.
Okay.
Somebody that I want to mention that I'm really excited to see where he's gonna go, the potential that he has, is Rory. That's the
Nice.
artist that I want to talk about.
Nice.
After again, don't forget, check out Killer Mike, check out Big Crit, and the other artist that I would say to look out for is Rory.
Spell his name out.
It's Raury.
Go look for it right now.
Exactly. He's a young cat. He's I think 19 now.
Mm-hmm.
He was 18 when he released Indigo Child, which came out in 2014. Which is I found out about Indigo Child really last year in 2015.
What were you doing when you were 18? Let's just say 16.
Exactly.
Let's just say 16, 17, 18. Leading up to that.
Exactly.
I was chasing ass.
Yeah, I was trying to get girls and just sports, really.
Yeah.
It's girls and sports for me.
Basketball. For
Yeah.
me.
So
And then I was a rapper.
Yeah, well, no, you were doing your thing though. I was just an avid listener. I was always listening to music intently, but I did want to be a DJ. I remember getting DJ Eddie. Shout out to Eddie.
Eddie J,
Eddie J. He knows
DJ Eddie J.
that
Taught me a lot.
man.
Taught me a lot.
Yeah, he tried to teach me how to DJ. He taught me how to scratch a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Same
I remember getting me in the limelight. I appreciate that, bro. You don't know.
Limelight.
Limelight. Shout out.
We might have to do a podcast on
Yeah,
just
we might
that.
have to do that.
We'll hold that one for later.
Yeah, just hold that for later. But I do want to give a shout out to Eddie. Man, I haven't talked to you in a minute. I'm gonna reach out to you though, but for reals, appreciate the love that you showed me in high school and everything, and
Definitely.
opening my eyes to music because he did by trying to teach me how to DJ. He did. I did start to understand the difference in music and how to blend it.
Mhm.
And that's
That led to a chain reaction.
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
To a lot of different stuff. Same here for me.
exactly. So I
having
want to
that as
give
a
him
backbone.
some appreciation for that.
I like looking at young cats because I look at a young guy, and if a young guy says, "I'm here to change the world,"
Yeah,
it gives me goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? When I listen to that, when I see an interview like that, so powerful, and at the same time, I see myself in that
Exactly.
same person. Just like when, getting off topic just for a little bit, but when I first saw Mac Miller get on the scene, you know what I'm saying? When I first
That
saw
hunger.
Mac Miller, that hunger that he had, the bars that he was throwing out, the message that he was, just having fun being a kid. It brings me back to when I wanted to be a rapper in high school. But now that I see Rory in his movement, and when he says that I want to change the world, it's gonna take some time, whatever it may be, it gives me goosebumps. It puts a smile on my face, and the catalog of the music that he's putting out there is actually speaking for itself. It's not somebody that, okay, cool, this person is saying what he's saying, and then you listen to it like, okay, I don't see any potential in this
Yeah.
person. But this kid is really, really serious. He's
Yeah.
really, really serious. He's soulful. He's got that country in him, but at the same time, he's lyrical. He's conscious.
And for all of this to happen, just like we said with the Joey,
Sounds
with-
like he has straight A's. But
yeah, with
who
the
knows?
with the Joey Badass, like we said, he's so young, but he has all this potential, and then he's willing to, and he understands that potential is not going to be it all. You have to put in the hard work and the dedication, and both of those artists, Joey Badass and Rory, I see that in both of them, that they want to put in the work. And the thing that made me, when I first heard Indigo Child, I didn't see any interviews or anything about Rory. I just heard the album, and based on the album, I can tell that he was a very positive, enlightened young man. That he wants to make the world better in a positive manner by pushing positivity. And as if you've listened to the podcast enough, you hear me say that that's something that I'm a big advocate and component for, is pushing positive vibes, being good for goodness sake, just putting out that energy of positivity, because I think it does change things. How much, again, who knows? But I'd rather be that than not. And Rory kicks that. He's a very positive person. He wants to put that positive energy in there. The first song that I heard was God's Whisper. And when I heard that, the title alone makes you think, oh man, this might be, very religious, like you're trying to push, preachy, like you're trying to push your religion on me. But when you actually listen to it, he's more talking about the concept of just being good, doing right, putting that good energy out there, and saying like, I hear the whisper of an essence of God telling me do right. You know what I'm saying? And then you listen to the other songs that I heard, like Cigarette Song, which is more about a relationship based. But the whole album, the Indigo Child, is very positive, very enlightening. But the thing that stuck out to me was the production. The lyrics was, very positive, but the production and the fact that he did all the production himself. He taught himself how to play the guitar so that he can add that to his production. To me, again, he's 18. That shows, again, the thirst and the thrive to be better and to work on that craft. And then his follow-up album, Forbidden, which he had the song Forbidden Knowledge with Big Crit, and the features that he had on it shows, again, similar like what we just said about Big Crit, is that RZA is on the track. RZA's not messing with everybody.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And starting today, you just put me onto Rory, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And starting today, I'm gonna be going to a lot of his pages there and doing the research and interviews and also his music, man. But that's
yeah. So he has,
RZA?
yeah, he has RZA on there. He has Big Crit, and the first album, Indigo Child. The second album is All We Need. The single that released for All We Need was was one of the singles, and the other single was our Devil's Whisper. And Devil's Whisper is more of he's in the industry now, and he understands that.
That's the first video that I saw on TV, but not even knowing that was him.
Yeah,
until
and
today.
It even got picked up by the NBA because at some of the NBA playoffs they were using Devil's Whisper as the instrumental for
It's
lead-ins
all over
and
BET Jams and Revolt. So if you watch those two channels for music videos,
so he is
they're on
getting
there.
love. But
Yeah.
again, I think I just wanted to give him a shout out and show him some more love. But going real quick back to Devil's Whisper, that's more about my interpretation of it is that he's in the industry now and he sees people trying to pull him this way or that way to divert him from his goal and his vision of trying to change the world through positivity.
And also poking fun at what's hot right now.
Exactly.
What
Showing
we're
like
kind of just accustomed to listening to and
Exactly.
being okay with.
exactly, and the reason why it is being released or why it is okay is because it can make money. It's what's pushed. It's for monetary gain, and he's trying to say that like that's not the end all be all for the music he's making. And then if you listen to Forbidden Knowledge, that track really is very lyrically dense by him and Big Crit about real social economic issues. So again, they're both deep brothers, and that shows another connection is Big Crit, the Sonic Breakdown Dog's having a little issues, choking a little bit, but he's alright. He gonna make it. But both of those brothers help with help each other and combine each other's talents together. So that is what we were saying is like they see the talent in each other, and they're bigging up off of each other. So again, check out Killer Mike, check out Big Crit, check out Rory. Another person I want to bring up that I think is dope, and I thought the first album that I heard from him was dope was Isaiah Rashad's Sylvia demo. And that, to me, if you don't know, Isaiah Rashad is signed to TDE, the same label that Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Absol, J Rock, SZA are signed to.
Where's he from?
He's from Tennessee.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Tennessee. He has. If you listen to Sylvia demo, he definitely does not shy away that he's from the South, that he's from Tennessee. One of the tracks, R.I.P. It's a track that pays homage to basically No Limit, off of the Sylvia demo. He also has a track with J Rock and Schoolboy Q.
My favorite record label of all time.
They are killing it right now. The track called Rest in Peace, Kevin Miller, which is Master P's brother, which he's basically paying homage to No Limit and how they were influence on him through that title track.
No Limit was a huge influence on me personally, man.
Yeah.
And I had family in New Orleans at that time too, for a long time until Katrina hit too. Man,
and that changed everything.
That changed everything.
I was a big No Limit fan too. Mystical, Silk the Shaka. They all I can't think of his name right now. The one in jail.
C Murder.
C Murder.
Very easy. One of my favorites.
Yeah, he was about that life.
Yeah.
Hey, he was about that life. But shout out to No Limit. Like, even though they weren't the most lyrically conscious rappers, but they did have their lane, and they made a statement in the game for a long time. But back to Isaiah Rashad though, the album Sylvia demo is dope. From the beginning, it starts with Heredity, basically talking about like family traits and his dad not being there. To Webby Flow, it just by that title alone tells you that that is South oriented. But it all the thing that I like about him and that I liked about this album was he juxtaposed very mellow tracks to that hard like aggressive flow. So it's like a hard aggressive flow over a soft mellow track. So it gives you that like I said, the juxtaposition between those two styles, and it just gave a lot of dynamics. And it felt it's like smooth but hyped at the same time. It's kind of a weird feeling, but it works, and it works very very nicely to me. One of the standout tracks is "Shoot You Down," which you should check that track out.
Okay.
Really check that track out. It's really good. It's a longer track, but Schoolboy Q, J Rock, as all of them, because they're all on that track. They all have killer verses.
Dang.
Like there's a line that J Rock throws out there, it's killer. Schoolboy Q, killer. Like there's and Isaiah Rashad. There's at least 3 or 4 hard lines in each verse where I'm like, oh, that was dope. Oh, that was dope. Oh, that was dope. And then you do that again for all 3 artists. So it's a really good track. It is a more dramatic, slower production, but it has gravity to it. It has some depth.
I'll have to check it out.
So it's a really good album, and that was the first time I heard about Isaiah Rashad. Without killing the man, what I said again, I did a review on this for the sonicbreakdown.com, is I said his flow or his style is he's like a down south Kendrick. That's again, I'm not comparing him to Kendrick, but that's the type of sound, the type of flow that he has. He has that diversity that Kendrick has, but he's definitely has the Tennessee touch to it, or Tennessee twist to it. And it doesn't sound like he's trying to be Kendrick. It just happened to be that's how it worked. But that's what I'm getting. You might hear it and get a different feel, but he's definitely worth checking out.
Definitely.
Who else would you say would be? What about? Because I don't really mess with Travis Scott like that.
You're just gonna throw him into this list,
but I would say he does have a lane
and
that
on
he's
the
carving out
forefront
for
right
himself.
now. Yeah.
Which I can respect. Like everybody can't fit in everybody else's lane. Sometimes you have to carve your own lane, and if you can make it work and it's viable, then I respect that. Like we're trying to carve our own lane out right here with this podcast and with the website. So, I can respect his work ethic, because I do, regardless of if I like his music or not, I do believe that he's putting in the work.
Yeah.
And I do believe he's trying, and I do believe, again, he's making his lane.
What can I say? Man, where do I start? He's not the typical South.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
He's from a part of Texas where it's not. He also said himself, it's not where he's getting his influence from. It's not all about tipping on fofos, candy paint, grills.
Yeah.
That whole vibe, that whole
Cadillacs.
Swisher House music movement with Paul Wall and all of them, Mike Jones, that type of sound. He's a new kid, which means new kids love an eclectic sound, right?
Yeah, they tend to be more open.
Yeah, we're in the streaming age, we're in the iTunes age, we're in that where everything your influences are all over the place. It can be from dubstep to hip hop to country to Taylor
EDM,
Swift.
Yeah.
Like
it could be anything
within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
which I think is which I'm happy and excited about, because when you embrace more music and embrace different music, because I used to say like in middle school and even somewhat in high school, I like a lot of different musics except country. And now I've grown and realized that that's not the case. There are country songs I like. I just don't like all country songs.
I still hate country.
I mean, I like some country. But I will say this: there's very few country songs I like.
Yeah.
But I have found country songs that I have liked. Like there's some Ray Charles songs that are considered country that I like, but because they do, like he said, they do tell stories. But the fact that when you open your mind up to allowing other types of sounds and other types of genres, it allows you to blend that together, and you can come up with new forms and even better sounds. So I do like that openness that the younger generation seems to have and seems to be.
It's amplified compared to when we were younger.
Exactly, because we were more open than
Yeah.
some of our previous generations.
Yep.
Because
It changes every generation.
yes, because some cats would only literally say, "I only listen to rap. That's it. Nothing else. Not jazz, not blues, not R&B, not pop. Nothing else."
Not caring about the history of music.
Yeah, and if you, to be real, a real hip hop head will know that hip hop is a compilation of almost every genre. Jazz was heavily influenced. Think about it. A lot of albums have saxes in them. That's a jazz oriented. It just comes from everywhere: jazz, blues, hip hop, African drum, salsa, reggaeton, calypso. Like there's a mixture of all that in a good majority of rap songs nowadays. It's just you don't really see it because it's been tweaked and turned so much that you don't understand that if you just broke one layer of that track, you can find one of those genres almost in everyone. So I do appreciate that,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that he's willing to embrace those sounds. But
At the same time, man, it's tough to kind of no. You know what? My overall 2 cents on his style of music and what he's doing, just to break it down really simple, it's youthful, it's different. He's definitely like you said, you touched upon it. He's putting in the work. Not too many people have a conjoined deal or co-sign from two of the biggest in the game, which is Kanye West and T.I.
that's
at the
true.
same time. He's also stated that his whole motive is to put on a great live show, and his energy is crazy, which also comes back to him looking like a weirdo. To me, when I first heard him and saw him getting interviewed, you know what I'm saying, he's that like weird kind of shy dude that won't make eye contact, but he's still talking. You know what I'm saying, rubbing on his lips for like the whole time. It's like it's weird, but everybody that has a vision, everybody who's an artist is weird to somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying, because they're doing something that's out of the norm.
Yeah, and
they-
that what
they-
adds to their creativeness.
Yeah. So it's I totally respect that. I totally respect what he's doing. He's considered the weirdo rapper. You know what I'm saying? If you're a young cat listening to his music, and if you're my age listening to him, you probably think he's a weirdo. But I like what he did on Rodeo. I gave a little listen through that album.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't bad.
But you know what? At the end of the day, his music, his movement is going to be leading the youth right now. Part of the youth.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. I'll keep it 100. I can leave him out of this list because you're comparing Travis Scott to Rory,
And I'm no,
or Killer Mike.
but the only reason why I thought and that he should be included into this list is because of
Influence.
the influence one, as well as
It's lit.
you can't. I feel like if you keep everybody out that doesn't fit lyrically, that's not fair. It's not. It's like doing an injustice because everybody's not going to be lyrically conscious. Everybody's not going to be lyrically dense. That doesn't mean that you don't make good music though,
Mm.
because there's jazz musicians that don't say a word, and that doesn't mean that their music is less valuable because they're not saying something that's influential.
True.
So I just want to put him in that list because he is doing something, like you said, he does have influence. He does, and he is doing something different, and he's being somewhat courageous about what he's choosing because nobody knew. You can't tell me that he knew before he came out with this sound, this type of vibe, that he knew it was going to work. Like, there's no way he could have known that it was going to work, that he was going to be able to be this influential. He might have had the feeling and hoped, but to step on on that limb and be courageous enough to go with something that you know might not work, I think he should get applauded for that. And so this is his chance. And
All right,
this
I'll
is
give
what
him
we're
one
doing.
clap. That's it.
There he goes. But I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't say
Good point,
that.
though. Good point.
I wouldn't say that he's as. I wouldn't say his album deserves as much credit as these other albums that we mentioned.
Okay.
But his presence should be noted. Put it that way.
That's a very, very good point that you stated.
So.
I respect that.
So that wraps it up for the down south artists that we feel like should be highlighted. But again, I'm just gonna quickly go over. We said Travis Scott. Definitely check out Killer Mike. Check on his discography. I definitely recommend Run the Jewels 1, 2, and Rap Music. If you haven't heard it, please give it a listen. And just be open-minded about it. Again, Killer Mike, Run the Jewels with LP. Big Crit, Catalactica, and Live Underground. Those two albums you should definitely check out. He's an artist that you should give a listen to and really pay attention to what he's saying. The same thing with Killer Mike and LP. Rory, Indigo Child, as well as All We Need. Both are really good albums. I will say this. I did like Indigo Child more than I did All We Need. But they're both good albums. But I do really, really enjoy the track Forbidden Knowledge on Indigo Child. He's a young cat that's pushing positivity. So, give him a listen. And then Isaiah Rashad. Another cat that's in a different lane than the other two, Killer Mike and Killer Mike, Big Crit, or Rory, but it's still a valuable listen. Sylvia Demo does go hard. It bumps in the whip, as FIFO from Dead End Hip Hop says. So definitely give it a listen.
That's a new one for me, so I'm definitely going to look up
that.
TDE.
Yeah. Shoot, I want to listen to it after this podcast.
Yeah,
but
do that.
so again, we just want to wrap this up. This is the Stay Woke podcast. I'm D. Ray Brinson.
And this is William West. Ladies, hit me up.
Yep. Don't forget to leave a comment and leave a comment and check us out on iTunes.
I cook good. I smell good.
He likes long walks on the beach,
I travel.
and hey, he does take photographs. I love
photography.
He's a great photographer. So
I'm a freak in the sheets. I don't eat booty.
so for you Kevin Gates fans out there who women who think that he only loves you if he eats the booty,
Man, let's get out of here.
we'll end down with that. And neither is D-Ray. So let's get that clear. But again, thanks for listening to the Say Woke podcast presented by thesonicbreakdown.com. Check out thesonicbreakdown.com for all your Stay Woke needs. Leave us a comment, donate. We appreciate that. And again, you know the motto: live, love, and above all, listen to some great music. We out.